How's it going, guys? In this video I'm going to show you my top 3 scales essential for anyone wanting to learn any style of lead guitar. Well, I'm demoing this on electric guitar, but this is appropriate for electric or acoustic. And I'll also be sharing with you my advice for how to move your lead guitar playing forward once you know these scales. But let's get in for a close-up. So the number one essential scale has to be the minor pentatonic scale, especially on electric guitar, but as I say, for acoustic as well. This is just the first scale that most guitar players should and will learn, and we're going to learn it starting from the 8th fret, which is a C note. And then we're going to add the little finger after that note at 11th fret. So we pick the first finger on string 6, and then we add the little finger and we take off that first finger like this. We're then going to move down a string, and for the next 3 strings it's just the 1st and 3rd finger that we use. So we're going to play string 5, pick the 1st finger and then pick the 3rd. The same for string 4 and the same for string 3. So a recap. And to finish with, it's first typically to little finger on the thinnest 2 strings. First to little, first to little. And it's important that we line up our fingers 1 finger a fret from that 8th fret, and we're going to try and keep them as close to this shape as we go down, with only a couple of variations on that with a specific reason for it. So as a demo and playthrough of that minor pentatonic scale from the 8th fret, which is a C note on string 6, it's first to little, first to 3rd, first to 3rd, and again, first to little, first to little. The exact same on the way back down as well. After you can do that, what many guitarists do is choose to play the thinnest 2 strings rather than with the little finger. Do it with the 3rd finger with their fingers on an angle, so that we can then learn to bend these notes, but only with proper technique and supporting those bends with the other fingers. The next scale we're going to look at is the major pentatonic. So this is the same scale shape essentially in the way that we're going to learn it here, but it does include different notes and it has a very different sound and different application. So the one that we played before is a C, starting on that C note here at 8th fret. What we're going to do is use that same shape, but we're going to start playing from the little finger and move your little finger down to 8th fret, down to that same start note. So if you're familiar with the minor pentatonic already, what this is going to look like I'm playing the A minor pentatonic scale, because I'm going to play these notes between 5th and 8th frets, like this. We're going to start with the little finger, and that's the only note we'll play on that string. We'll move down, and it's 1st, 3rd, it's the same shape. Now this note, the A, the 1st finger, is still part of this same scale shape, but it's really important when you learn any scale that you start and finish it from the actual note, which is the letter name of the scale. And in this case, that is a C. So we started the minor pentatonic from the C note. We'll start the major pentatonic also from that C note, and when we go through it 6 notes, so the 5 notes of the scale and then the 1st note of the next octave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, octave. If we do that on both, we can really hear the personality and the differences between these scales. Even though they're so related, they do have a lot of the same notes, but not all the same notes. This one has a minor 3rd, and this one includes a major 3rd, which is this one. gives it a very different sound. So that minor pentatonic, the first scale, is used more for rock and blues, but when the riff or the power chords that are played underneath it use notes from that scale or related scales, so minor pentatonic stuff. And then we would solo and improvise using this major pentatonic over a more major sounding chord sequence or song. A great example is Don't Look Back in Anger. You know, over a chord sequence that's in the key of C, this major pentatonic works really great, and but it still only has 5 notes, and that's these scales, these pentatonic scales, are not as fundamental to the music that we commonly listen to, that, you know, the vast majority of music in the world. They're not as fundamental as the major scale. The major scale is the foundation of all Western music. It is a 7-note scale, and the full major scale in position 1 would be played like this. So this major scale steps it up in difficulty because we're using the little finger at every string, for example, just as one example of the difficulty. But we've got more notes, so this makes it better for composing and writing melodies. This is where the melodies come from that are in major sounding guitar solos, and also what a vocalist would play, or melodies within the chord. They're from this major scale. There are many other ways to play it, but this is position 1, actually starting with the middle finger. Remember, every scale that we've done so far, minor pentatonic, major pentatonic, they all started from C at the 8th fret. And we're also going to start this major scale from the 8th fret as well, but we start with our middle finger. We go to little, and then it's index, middle, little finger. And then index, ring finger, little finger. One more time. For the second octave, this is down a string again, and it's the same frets and same fingers. Just 2 notes on the next string, which is middle and third. And then finally, first to middle, which would take us to the octave. That's the octave. We can add this note in as well, and then come back down. Is a great way to practice it. First finger here is also part of that scale, but we should start and end on our octave notes. So we have the minor pentatonic scale, which is better for solos over rock music. We have the major pentatonic scale, which can be used over kind of power chord rock music, but there's a little bit more nuance to it, which would mean it's better over kind of major sounding chord sequences. And then we have the full major scale, which gives us all the notes available for melodies to work, again over a more major chord sequence. And they're my 3 essential scales, whether you want to play acoustic or electric guitar. And where I would recommend you go next after this video is checking out the full courses that I've got available for acoustic and for electric guitar, with backing tracks, and the links to those are on the screen now. I hope those and my other guitar solo lessons here on YouTube really help you and support your learning of lead guitar. Thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.